Congresswoman Maxine Water is putting pressure on President Joe Biden to keep the current housing regulator. There are reports that President Biden is considering replacing the current regulator for mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Well, Waters is endorsing acting Federal Housing Finance Agency Director Sandra Thompson, who took on the role in June after Biden fired a Trump appointee. In a statement, Waters said that she doesn't believe anyone is more qualified or dedicated than Ms. Thompson. She also, of course, made the point with the Biden administration that you might want to keep a black woman in her position because it's not like you have a whole lot. This right here, of course, she is she's the committee chair of a powerful financial committee there on Capitol Hill. And I'm going to say, Faraji, for people who go, oh, well, you know, the CBC, what do they do? If you want to understand power, trust me, the Biden administration does not want to have to cross Congresswoman Maxine Waters on this very issue.
No, I mean, and she represents the state of California, which you and I both know, Brother Roland, is a state that is, you know, she's on the House Financial, she's serving as the chair of the House Financial Services Committee. So they're looking at housing disparity, housing affordability, all of those housing issues across the country. And so, you know, she is a vocal, she could be one of your staunch supporters, or she can be a vocal, you know, a person that criticizes you. But at the end of the day, you know, Maxine Waters, and I agree with her on this, that you got to put black people in front of, you know, at the top of these things. I'm looking at housing. We also got to talk about the banking situation, because the finances and housing in this country, when it comes to black and brown communities in particular, is the worst. I do work, Brother Roland, here in Baltimore with a couple of organizations that work in both of those spaces. And let me tell you, we go back and forth with banks about housing in black and brown communities, from everything from, you know, making sure that appraisals are done properly, to making sure that black people get the proper value for their homes, all of those things. So when you have a black person in there, and I know some people say, well, she might just be a figurehead, but this is why it's important, and I'm going back to your premise all the time, is that you got to create the leaders that you want. That's the way we have to start looking at this thing if we want to look at creating power in all of these industries. And in the housing industry, where redlining has been a part of that industry, or the legacy of those industry, when you're talking about the affordability factor, where you're talking about even, you know, there are a high number of folks that haven't gotten the stimulus package that was promised for those homeowners that have been affected by COVID-19. All of those things are huge, and they hit our community hardest. And so you got to have somebody that looks like us and that can understand our struggle to be in those spaces.
The thing that we spend lots of time dissecting, and I tell you, Kelly, I see a lot of these people commenting on social media, and then they don't do this and they don't do that. And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. There are things that black congressional members do that people don't actually even pay attention to. They have no idea. Right. When you talk about weighing in on who is in that position of power, that matters. When you talk about, again, changing the language in a particular bill. Sure, their name might not be on it, but that language change could actually do something. And this is just a mistake that so many people make when they don't understand the role they play. I remember you know, watching Tom Hanks play Congressman Charlie Wilson in the movie Charlie Wilson's War, and they were like, okay. And I remember the CIA agent played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. He said, how in the world can a nondescript congressman from Texas who hasn't passed, I think it passed like 2 bills or something like that in his career, known for boozing and women, how he's gonna get this done? And he said, because the people owe me a whole lot of favors. If you don't know how Capitol Hill works, then you don't understand.
Come on.
And the thing is, a lot of Americans just simply do not understand. If you are not in the room where it happens, you're not going to get it. For a lot of Americans, the term, you don't know how the sausage gets made, like Americans get the sausage, but you don't really want to know what it takes to produce it. But what I will say is this, as far as Maxine Waters' endorsement of this woman for this role, at the end of the day, if it weren't for Black women, Biden would not be in office. If it were not for Black women, the Democratic Party as a whole would be pretty shaky on its foundation. So anything, if anything, she should be there, not only because she's qualified, but as principal, Black women need to be visible, more so, more than just, being the vice president or, someone as a special advisor. They need to be visible in the cabinet. They need to be visible around Biden, because at the end of the day, it is us who got him there. So I understand Maxine Water's position on this, and I'm anxious to see how everything plays out.
Michael.
Yeah, Representative Maxine Waters is using her leverage to create this opportunity for the sister, but not so the sister can have a job, but so she can help people who help put Democrats in control of the White House, okay, and keep Democrats in the House of Representatives. And remember, it was, we speak of Representative Maxine Waters. It was Representative Maxine Waters who spearheaded the bill to try to extend the eviction moratorium, okay? At the last minute, it was Representative Maxine Waters. We talk about Black women, it was Cori Bush and Ayanna Pressley, who were on the steps of Capitol Hill, drawing attention to this, to put pressure on Biden to do something with the courts and try to extend this with the CDC. Now, even though the Supreme Court eventually struck it down, it still bought some time. But what it did do is put pressure on state legislatures to figure out how to disseminate the $46.5 billion that was already passed months ago through the American Rescue Plan.
Look, as Kelly said, if you don't know how power works, then you don't know. And trust me, you got to be in the room, know how it works. Folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way.
Honored to be on a show that you own. A Black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Roland was amazing on there.
Stay Black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared. You dig?